my name is Vivian Brown Asimai, and this is Voice of the People. Today we are on the streets and finding out how students cope with their stresses in university this year. Have you been feeling any stressed?
Um, I'll not say I feel so much. It's better because I'm from West Africa actually to study in the UK. The UK education is good, the teachers are good, they explain very well, and it's time. This is my first week, so it's a time I will get used to it. But for now, it's a little bit stressed because you have to start new, you have to come to the UK to start everything new, and the education of the UK is above most education, and it's on time that you can catch up. Yeah, it's a little bit stressful, but not that much.
How have you been coping with the stress that you've been getting?
Yeah, talking to family back home, encouraging me to let me keep going, continue. One day I'll be a man for myself. I'll be alone, so I have to use to that.
How do you manage your time? So let's say you have coursework to do and you want to like go out with your friends for leisure. How do you manage the time that you have?
The time is too tight. We have 3 hours per class, but it's good because that's life. It's good, and I can squeeze a little bit. Like after classes, they can go out with friends, and I can squeeze a little bit, but not that much time. We don't have enough time. Yeah.
How would you advise anyone who is under stress now, whether maybe financial stress, because you know we have to pay back the student money after you study? How would you
I'm an
advise?
international student, so I don't have to pay back.
Oh, okay, so and if you were living here, yeah, how would you advise anyone who's studying and they have some sort of stress? How would you advise them to cope and overcome it?
I will advise you not to do something crazy first of all. Try to talk to family. Try to talk to students, your fellow students, and just be patient. Have your goals, and then you can pay little by little without no stress. You have to calm down, and the government will give you a chance to pay.
How have you been coping with your financial stress at uni?
I just have to try and find some work on the side to try and top up the money we get from the NHS. I'm a health funded course, so sometimes the bursary doesn't cover everything you need it to cover. So you just have to try and get little jobs on the side, to help your way through it. I think you need to really make a plan and divide up your time equally, so you know what days you're studying and you know what time you can work as well, so you can fit it all in. Because it can get quite stressful. Just thinking, but I didn't know about university life. It was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. But you have to adjust, make changes. Yeah.
How do you cope with stress in university?
I've just started, but I find it's good to like prepare from before. So like today I had a seminar, and I find that when you don't prepare from before, you're a lot more stressed. But when you're prepared, you know the questions just like that. So it's good to prepare from before, do some reading and stuff like that.
Definitely. I would support what she said and also say prayer, relaxation, meditation, eat good food, exercise. Yeah.
So do you guys really have like an idea of how you pay your student loan back now, or it's not really of a problem?
I'm going into law, so I'm just hoping I'm just that successful to pay it back quickly. So yeah.
Definitely. And I'm not really worrying about it right now. I think when it comes, it'll be sorted. By God's grace.
So how do you guys balance your leisure time with your assignments, your coursework? And you know how we have a lot of societies going on now in university. Yeah, how do you guys balance that?
It's more like I said, you prepare for lectures and stuff like that, and then afterwards you find that you don't really have as much work to do, so you have free time. For like example, we just went Oxford Street to get some stuff for a party like on Thursday.
Don't judge.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just all about like managing your time. You have to know when it's a good time to do stuff and when it's not. So if you know that you don't get something, spend your time studying instead of going out, and then that time that you be using stressing later on could be used to do more fun stuff, and that's knowing the stress of it as well. Yeah, can't talk.
Definitely. 100% with her. Yes. Seriously, it's true. Just know what you're doing. Have like not a timetable, but a schedule. Like I'm definitely committing this amount of hours to this, my relaxation, this much. You know what I mean? Keep it balanced.
So overall, like if I was to say, okay, someone just started university like you, but they was lost and they didn't really know how to budget their money, they don't really know what to do or who to go to sort of manage stress, because I feel like there should be some sort of society for coping with stress, because not everyone is able to cope with stress. So what sort of advice, like an ultimate advice, would you give to anyone?
I would say you can make friends, like we did, make friends. So friends tend to like give the right influence, give it ideas. Also, you can meet people from years from above you or so. They give like really good advice. And I don't know, before you start uni, I suggest that you go to a lot of open days, because then they do generally speak about this anyway. And you take notes, and you don't just like let it go through one end through the other. You take notes and think about it, like how are you going to balance your money? Is this right? Is this okay? Am I going to need this later? Kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of stress, it doesn't help. That's what you have to remember. It's like you will have a large amount of work. That is university. Don't let the stress kind of take over your mind. Just sit there, do it piece by piece. Don't feel like, it's overwhelming. Take time. Yeah, definitely.
Well, when I came to the first year uni, it was really fascinating and I really liked it, but it was a completely different thing from school. It was a big jump and there's so much work to do and like family problems and all that. There was a lot to do. So student life is very stressful, plus we are worried about the grants and everything, how we're going to pay them back, and the competition is really tough. Are we going to get a job at the end or not? So it's really getting harder and we need more help, but whereas no one is helping us, to be honest. We're just on our own. Yeah.
So do you think that we need to cope with stress on our own, or we need to find some sort of support within the university that will help us?
I think we need support, because if we end up alone and we have to fight it on our own, it's really hard. We'll end up being depressed and it's going to lead to other horrible consequences. So I think there should be someone at the uni where we can talk to them and they can tell us what to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that would be way better if someone helped us actually and take our hand sometimes. You need support. I mean, you can't be on your own all the time. Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who just started university and they already start having stress within the first assignment? What advice would you give them?
Well, the bad thing about uni is when you when you start first year, you just go crazy. You start partying, you do weird stuff. I think that's the worst decision to make, because you don't pay much attention to your studies, and then by the time it's January or summertime, you're doing your exam. It's too late to revise, and you kind of end up getting bad grades, and you didn't really regret this. So I would say stop partying and pay more attention to studies, because it's really tough. It's not easy. It's not as easy as we think it is, to be honest. Yeah, that's my advice. Yeah, we need to spend more time in library. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah.
What if people's time for partying and going out, less studying, is their way of coping with their stress? What would you say to that?
Well, I don't really think partying, I mean, when you go partying, you got to get drunk and you drink a lot, or you get high, or whatever people do. But I think when you drink, you're just trying to get away from reality. You're not really tackling the main problem. You're just going away for a few hours from the reality. But when the next morning you wake up, you have no money in your pocket, you're broke, and actually you're more stressed. Do you get it? Yeah.
So it's financial stress.
Yeah, again, yeah. So it's better to stay indoors and save money up and kind of spend it wisely. That's what I would say. Yeah. Especially if you live in London, it's really expensive down there. So, yeah.
Something that is easy to do that, because of I'm working at the same time, and so it's a bit stress something. Then I have to travel from Hitchin, Hertfordshire to London. So I stayed 3 days in London, and after I have to go there to work and I come back here. So it's been really challenging for me. I mean, I've been in a top work before I drop it to do the degree. So it's been a really, really tough. But at the same time, it's what I want to do. So I'm enjoying it. So with the support of my lecturer and the friends. So yeah, well, I got 3 days in uni. So doing 2 days I work, and the rest 2 days is my assignment, going to see friends, spending time with the family. But, with my age, it's not easy something, but at the same time, if you decide to do something, you have to go for it. So that's what I'm doing now, because, I want to improve myself. So any challenge that is there now, so I'll just take it as it comes. So.
What advice would you give to anyone who's studying for your course in your age group? who's probably facing financial stress, because you might not be facing it because you have a job. So what advice would you give to them?
Well, no matter what, you still have to face the financial side of it, because to drop something like as a full-time before, and I have to drop what I'm doing to do the full-time course. So I'm doing a part-time work. I got family, so I have to support them. So even though with the student loan, it's not going to be easy, because you still have to keep up with what you used to be before. So the only advice I can give is for people, if you decide to do something and you want to do it, so just push yourself and do it no matter what you face, because at the end of it, you will get something better out of it. So that's the motivation, just go for it and do it. And then when you finish, it's going to pay for you. So
I kind of separate my work through the year rather than just leaving it to the last minute. Like today, for example, I finished my lecture seminars, and when I go home, I'll relax and chill for a while, and then just come back to library or do it at home for 1 or 2 hours, and I would be perfectly, like, the topics and everything would be perfect. Everything, like, I would understand the topic, so I wouldn't really find it hard when the exam time, like any time, I'd be ready for it. Student finance, the loans and the grants that we get, it'll go within a month or half, and then after that you have to work. So which means you have to start work from the start of the year until you finish the year. Or you could work in the summer, not go holidays, and then you can have monies.
So let's say that I'm my first year and I just started university studying accounting, right? But no one's told me how to budget. No one's told me these things. How would you give advice to someone who's studying accounting?
Just starting. Well, I would firstly ask them once they finish college, they need to start working for at least 3 months, because they need to pay for their accommodation deposit and books and everything. You'll need to buy books, other expenses, so you need to have money for that. Otherwise, if you have a rich parent, you don't have to worry about it. So that's basically what I would give. So they need to work. They need to think before whatever they do, yeah.
I have a part-time job, and I would just keep myself busy with anything, like studying, going out, and not just stay at home. It helps a lot to reduce your stress. Yeah, basically that's it. Like, you should just know how to work with your time, arrange everything, make your daily schedule busy, always busy. Like, you have 1 hour to study, 1 hour to do anything else, 1 hour to hang out, 1 hour for doing gym or any exercises you have. Yeah.
Now that we've collected all of the opinions on student life, the majority said that they know how to cope with their stress, and others didn't have any stress at all. I'm studying as well, and I believe that students should balance their education and their leisure time by keeping a diary and always being up to date with your work. This is Voice of the People. My name is Vivian Brown Osumai.